Yes, book 3. Pardon me, did I say 2? Yeah, book 3. And will not the musician, notice that we call the musician, and will not the musician, following these very same tracks in the pursuit of gymnastic, manage, if he wishes, to need nothing of medicine unless it's absolutely necessary? Agreed. Again, he will labor at the exercises themselves and their hard work with an eye to the high-spirited part of his nature. What do you got to do? You got to direct your mind to the high-spirited part of your nature when you go through all these exercises. What for? Rather than towards mere strength. He's going to awaken the high-spirited part of his nature. He's not going after strength. That's what gymnastics does. Gymnastics builds the strength of the body. That's not what he's doing. What's he doing? He's awakening the high-spirited part of its nature. Well, what will you get out of it? The high-spirited part of our nature, if rightly trained, it would become courage. And as he has it, then take these two natures, then to help these two natures, as it seems, I would say some God has given two arts to mankind, music and gymnastics, both for the philosophic and for the high-spirited parts, not for the soul or body particularly, except by the way, but for both together, in order they may be fitted together in concord, be strained and slackened to their proper point. Then one who best mingles music and gymnastics, most proportionately applies them to the soul, would most rightly be called the perfect musician and master of melody. So what are you going to do? You're going to use this to awaken the high-spirited part of your nature. That's the power. That's where it comes from. So there has to be an awakening. Sometimes in other systems this goes by several important names, but you have to be in touch with a certain kind of energy, power, right, to be able to maintain this. Because otherwise, these experiences are draining. This, what does it do? It preserves through all conditions the proper way of being. Now, is that exercising the mind in a different way? Is it a yoga? It means then you have to cultivate the proper belief about the nature of God and the nature of reality. You then have to have a certain kind of power, right? Music emerges into, curiously enough, courage. This is courage. It all comes together, doesn't it? And therefore, there's a certain practice, and whatever preserves that in the condition of the soul, that is a certain kind of knowledge, that's wisdom, because learning how to do this, learning how to do this, is a knowledge. You're going to learn something. You're going to learn how to do it. That's the knowledge. By the way, it won't work on a multiple choice test at college. Different kind of knowledge. Right? Different kind of knowledge. It's the knowledge that comes with the willingness to do this, and you learn about it, and therefore you learn what preserves it. It brings about a certain condition of the soul that's continuous, and that's the condition for the emergence of justice and wisdom. And that's the goal for tonight. Thank you.
Did you say that it was the cultivation of music and gymnastics
Yes.
together that brings about courage? Or
That's,
is it one
well,
or
that's what he says.
both together? Can you
That's
show
the
us?
perfect musician.
Say something?
Wouldn't that make a perfect musician? Someone who can identify all these states of mind and has developed the power.
Okay.
And what does that power do? I'll
How
read it
does
again.
developing that power help with the high spirit?
It dovetails right back into then is it not true in heaven's name that in the same way we cannot be musical ourselves, nor can those whom we say we have to educate, our guardians, until we can recognize the shape of self-control and courage and self-control and loftiness of mind. And this is courage, being able to do this. Now, see, what's most interesting about this whole thing, you see, is, and this is the point he doesn't make. He doesn't make this. But it's certainly a very, very interesting question, which is, all right, let these be the states we just described, right? Loftiness, courage, self-control, right? If someone is doing this, would they then be able to recognize in themselves self-control? Would they be willing to go through situations that they might fear? Willingly? Now willingly to test whether or not they can maintain a certain state of mind? Ah. Will that bring about a certain loftiness? Now here's the big part. Is it possible that what he's saying is once you do this, you can then learn to see those qualities in someone else? Then it's training the mind to recognize states of mind, both in yourself and in others.
And that training leads partly to courage? I mean, is that... How is courage tied in with recognizing states of mind in yourself and others?
Is courage a state of mind?
Well, yeah, is courage a state of mind?
Well, that's the thing.
Well, is it?
I thought courage was that holding on to the belief that holding on
Yes,
to an
that's right.
understanding of what's dangerous, which would be to hold a false belief about the nature of God and reality. So that practice of holding on to that belief is courage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a state of mind, holding
Yes.
on to that? Uh-huh. The best one.
That's it.
Got to know its opposite too.
And everything builds out of that, doesn't it? Everything builds out of courage.
Thank you.
It doesn't build out of wisdom. It builds out of courage.
Well, you know. Wisdom is necessary in order to practice this, though, correct?
Well, yes and no. No, because you see, wisdom is the knowledge. You pick up a knowledge of that practice and what preserves it. Wouldn't you want to know, hey, I was able to do it through pleasure and pain, a little bit of fear, but every once in a while with desire, I'm not able to do it. You'd say, wow, let's talk about it, right? Is it possible then that a person might want to know what blocks them in preserving that state of mind or that belief through all of these different kinds of experiences? I'll tell you what we do. The noetic sciences in Sausalito are interested in